All right, folks, we are back. It is April 15th. Yesterday, Honda dropped the first official picture of the 2022 Honda Civic. We have lots to talk about, so let's get right into it. All right, first off, I want to thank all of you that saw my last video. I uploaded it March 11th, so a little bit over a month ago, and I never expected it to get the views that it got. I started this channel because I'm planning on buying a 11th generation Civic Si as soon as they come out, probably in the fall. So I figured I'd throw some content up and start growing an audience. So when I got the car, it wouldn't take as long to grow the channel. But I never expected 37,000 views in a month and over 100 subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't express enough how thankful I am for you guys. But enough about that. Let's get into the 2022 Honda Civic picture that we just got yesterday. So what can we tell from this picture? We can tell the production vehicle is going to be very, very faithful to that concept that we saw last year. Obviously, we already knew this because of the spy shots, like I showed you guys in my last video, but it's nice to see it officially confirmed from Honda in their first ever image. The only notable differences are, like I pointed out in my last video, the fog light housing is slightly changed. It looks like the mirror is going to be body colored instead of blacked out like we saw in the concept. We do unfortunately have chrome trim around the windows, which we thought it was going to be gone. And then the wheels are obviously different. It looks like the wheels in that vehicle, which by the way, that is the Touring trim level. How do I know? When I went over to Honda's website to download the picture so I can show you guys, the image name literally says 2022 Honda Civic Touring. So that's the Touring we're looking at. The wheels are identical to the ones that we currently see on the hatchback Sport and Sport Touring. But we have also seen some spy shots of like prototypes rolling around with the wheels that look identical to the ones in the concept. So we might see those wheels down the line, maybe on the SI, maybe in some sort of trim level in the hatchback. I'm not losing faith that we won't see those double 5-spoke wheels, but for now we know the sedan is going to stick, at least the Touring trim level is going to stick to the current generation's hatchbacks wheels. Another thing we can pick up from this picture, if we zoom in enough on the front bumper, is that we are getting the addition of front parking sensors. Not sure why you would need it on such a small car like the Civic, but it's nice that it's an option. Not sure if it's going to be only on the Touring trim level like we're looking at now, or if we'll find them on the EX trim level, but at least for now, we know we have them. So another thing we can officially compare with this picture is the relation to the Accord. I know there's a lot of talk online that this is basically just the baby Accord. It's not as distinct in Honda's lineup as the 10th generation was, and I have to agree. It was no surprise to anyone that this is the future for Honda's design language as far as their sedans. So headlights are the same, that front brow area is the same, the character line that runs along the whole side of the body is the same, and then that kink in the rear window is the same. The only differences are obviously going to be the lower portion of that front bumper. On the Honda, it's kind of like a upwards facing V, and on the Civic is tilted down, but besides that, it's basically a mini Accord. Moving on from the looks of the 11th generation Civic, next thing we can talk about is the trims and the colors. We've got confirmed a couple of weeks ago what the new trim levels were going to be and what the new colors were going to be. And as you can see here, the engines are being carried over, so you still have the 2.0 naturally aspirated on the LX and on the Sport, and the 1.5 turbo on the EX and the Touring. Now notice there is no EXL trim level. Honda's doing away with the EXL trim level. The only difference in the 10th generation between the EX and the EXL was that leather. For most people, it wasn't enough of a difference to go for that EXL trim level. Wasn't selling very well. Honda decided to do away with it. Now, if you want leather, you have to step up to the Touring. We also know that the 1.5 turbo is going to have about a 10% increase in power. We don't know yet. We don't have the full specs. Those are going to be revealed on the 28th. But it'd be nice to see if the 2.0 has the same 10% bump in power that the 1.5 turbo has. And now the second thing we can see here is the new colors. We have still the Asian blue, we have crystal black, lunar silver. Modern steel is going away. It's being replaced with meteorite gray. And meteorite gray is also kind of replacing the sedan's cosmic blue. I'll throw a picture here so you can kind of see the differences between the three grays, kind of. And we still have rally red. And the other thing we can see is Sonic Gray is finally coming to the Civic sedan. Previously, it was only on the hatchback. A lot of people liked it. Now you can get it on the sedan. Folks, another thing I completely forgot to say when I was initially recording this is that we also have a second new color on the Civic sedan. Looks like it's only available on the turbo models, the EX and the Touring, and it's called Morning Mist. What is it? We have no clue. I think it's only one of two possible options based on the name. It's either a very light silver with a hint of blue or a very light beige. The Civic hasn't had beige in a while, and it kind of makes sense if you see the fact that it's only being offered on the higher end trim levels, and the fact that the 11th generation overall is going for a more mature, grown-up look. I know some people out there, some of the older car buying folks maybe didn't buy the Civic just because of the looks. So now that they have a more grown-up, less childish, boy racer looking Civic, they got a beige on there. It might attract some of that older crowd, but that's just my opinion. All right, so last thing we can talk about, folks, is the interior. We still don't have the official pictures of what the interior is going to look like. Those are coming out on the 28th, but we do have a pretty good idea of what that's going to look like based on three things. We have these pattern drawings of what the dash is going to look like. We have this concept image that Honda showed us when they showed the concept last year. And lastly, we have the actual production photos of the 2022 Honda HR-V, which has, you can tell, the same design language, with the main notable difference being the infotainment screen that sits kind of in the middle of that air vent line instead of sitting on top of that air vent line like it does in the current generation Accord. And that is all for now, folks. I will be making another video 2 weeks from now on the 29th when we get more pictures and the full specs and information on the vehicle. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet. I appreciate all of you that subscribed on my last video. Like I said before, this is going to be a channel exclusively on 11th generation Civic content. I will personally be buying a Civic Si as soon as I can, probably in the fall, but I also work at a Honda dealership, so as soon as we get the very first few models on the ground, I'll be making a walk around, a full trim walk through. Any questions you have, anything in specific you guys want to see, go ahead and comment it below. If I can make a video on it, I will. With that being said, thank you so much for sticking around to this point, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.